What is energy?
Science is neat.
What is density?
That's a good question.
You want the scientific definition?
Density is how thick things are.
It's the amount of matter in a certain area.
What do you say? I'm not really sure.
Want to do a couple of density experiments?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Okay. Any study of density can only start in one spot, and that's with bowling balls.
Should I be scared?
No, don't be scared. Can you hold on to that for me? Just hold it good and steady. I don't want to drop.
Oh, okay.
And I've got a bowling ball for you, too. A nice, pretty orange one. Now, here's the question. Do bowling balls float?
No. Yes.
Sink.
I would think it would sink.
I'm going with sink. I'm going to go with float. Normally they sink.
That's pretty reasonable expectations. So give me your bowling ball there. And let's put it, I'm going to put it very carefully into the aquarium. And it goes, and is it floating? Is it floating?
Sunk like a Titanic.
Sunk.
That is one sunk bowling ball. Good. Now we'll take the second ball, the orange ball. And we'll drop it in. And what do we get? Uh-oh.
Wow.
It's floating. Hey, that's not right.
Are they the same weight?
They're the same volume. They're the same size. Are they the same weight?
Probably not. Probably not.
Definitely not. They have different densities.
It's all coming back to me.
If they've got the same volume, but they have different masses, they have different densities. It's how much mass is packed into a particular area. What can you tell me about the density of this ball with respect to the density of water?
It's more dense.
Great.
Absolutely. This bowling ball here, its density, its mass per unit volume is lower, and therefore it floats.
I would never have thought that.
So we learned two things so far, right? We learned what density is, and maybe we learned a little bit about why things float, too. Two objects with different densities can either sink or float. Why don't we do an experiment where we have an object of a standard density? In this case, ice. What's ice made of?
Water?
Okay. Okay, well, let's do an experiment. Let's take a big handful of ice there, drop it into the water, and
Float it.
Floats.
so what does that tell you about the relative densities?
It's just sink.
The same? It's floating?
It's less.
It's less than water.
Water is very special. When water freezes, it expands slightly. So it expands slightly, so there's a little bit less water per unit volume, so it's a little bit less dense. And that allows water to float when it's frozen. Can you grab a handful of ice? Drop it into this glass over here? Well, what's going on?
You cheated. That's not water.
It might be a different type of water. Maybe have salt in it.
Do you want to sip and try?
I don't think so.
No, that's also a good answer. Why don't you just touch it with your finger? What does it feel like?
Soapy.
Oil. It's like oil.
It's baby oil. Baby oil is a lot less dense than water. So the ice is denser or less dense than the baby oil?
It's more dense. It's denser.
You betcha. So if the ice is denser than baby oil, so
It sinks.
it sinks. We've seen that solids can float or sink in liquids. What about liquids together? Would liquids float on other liquids?
That's how you make shooters.
Would you like a cocktail?
Sure.
Why don't we try Shirley Temple? Shirley Temple starts with a sweet syrup called grenadine, and then a little bit of ginger ale, another sugary substance. What do you
The layer of grenadine on the bottom, and the clear ginger ale on the top.
I can see 2 layers.
Which layer is more dense?
Bottom.
The grenadine.
The grenadine.
Yeah, exactly. So the density differences come into play again. The ginger ale floats on top of the grenadine. But this drink is missing something. It needs a maraschino cherry. Now, where do you think the cherry's going to end up?
Bottom.
Bottom.
Heavy.
Going
Same.
on top.
Bottom.
Let's try it out. Here we go.
Middle.
In the middle.
So it's more dense than the ginger ale and less dense than the grenadine.
You guys are good. I'm going to ask you the pop quiz questions, okay?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what is density?
Mass per volume? It's the amount of mass in a set amount of area.
Amount of mass, amount of volume.
And why do things float?
Because they're less dense than the substance they're floating in.
The more dense something is, the more likely it'll sink, and less dense it'll float.
You got it. I think we should have a toast to density.
The density.